How's it going, guys? Sorry I look like the biggest crackhead of all time right now, but I just spent the whole entire night working on the new ZNA Productions logo, and let me tell you, unlike me, it's looking clean. So I'll give you guys a little more information in a few more minutes, but first, the real reason you're all here. I'm making the most ridiculous, intimidating weapon that I made in at least a month. I'm talking about the weapon that I picked out during my live stream with ZombGoBoom and Ironclad Industries.
Okay, so
that one.
You're gonna make the weapon that guy in the middle is holding. It's what? Is it a baseball bat with?
It's a baseball bat with 4 machetes.
Okay, attached to either side. So it's like a bat-shetty on crack.
Yeah, a bat-shetty with no future.
No future.
But I'm stepping that guy up because his idea was a wooden baseball bat with 4 of those regular Latin-style machetes around it, turning it into this baseball bat mace. That's pretty cool, that's pretty cool. But how about an indestructible polypropylene baseball bat from cold steel and 4 Whetstone Cutlery sawback machetes? It's not really gonna matter that the back is a saw, but you'll see in a minute why I picked these ones. So number 1 on the list, I have to make 16, possibly 24 brackets out of this 1/8 inch by 1 inch angle iron. These are gonna be what holds the blades onto the bat. Actually, this is first. Sorry, cold steel, but this ain't swag. Alright, now I'm gonna take off this useless wrap. What the heck? This isn't even paracord. This is like what the shoes of dolls are tied with. Now I have here what they call in France a flat surface. So I'm going to lay this up against the flat bar, and I'm gonna use a pencil that has just been sharpened to mark out the inside of this little line right here that I have no idea what the manufacturers made it for, but what I'm going to use it for is to save me a whole lot of time drilling, and I'm just going to use this to put the rivets through. So I've got this line here, I'm going to color it in a little bit more, and then after I got the initial line right here, I'm going to put the machete back on but slide it backwards, and then I'm going to continue marking so that I have a line going all the way to the end of the angle iron, and then mark it every inch all the way to the end. And now that I got those little tick marks, just to make sure I don't lose my place, I'm going to mark it all the way across. Go ahead and continue these lines all the way down the other side. And now that I think about it, I just want to get all the brackets out of the way so I don't have to go back and forth and back and forth. So I'm going to cut off the handle of this machete and also the rest of the other machetes while I'm at it, so that I can use the blade from one of them to use this line right here to make the mark all the way down so that I can get the full 16 or 24. I haven't done the math yet, so we'll just save ourselves some time. Now I knew it was going to be a lot of metal cutting for this project, so I went ahead and treated myself to a chop saw. But don't worry, you can obviously still use an angle grinder for all this, or if you're completely insane, you can use a hacksaw.
And safety first.
So now I clamp the angle iron to this 2x4 right here, and I'm going to use a 3/16 drill bit to drill into that line that we made using the blade in the middle of every single 1 inch section. Now I move the iron to the other side and switch to a 13/64 drill bit, and I'm going to drill in parallel with the other holes. Alright, I guess with one of the more in-depth builds that I've done in a while, you should expect these in-depth mistakes. This mistake that I just made was just being lazy. I was hoping that I would be able to do absolutely no drilling into these tempered steel machete blades, so I got these 3/16 aluminum rivets because they fit perfectly inside here, and I was just gonna use those for the rivets. But looking at these things now and thinking about the kind of force that these machetes are gonna deal with, I know now that this really isn't enough, and now because these holes are so close to the edge, I can't just drill through here with the 1/4" drill bit, because there wouldn't be enough material between the hole and the edge right here for it to really even matter that I'm using a 1/4" steel rivet. So I'm just gonna take some of this slightly wider 1¼ angle iron and use this piece as a stencil to trace these holes onto this one, and then drill that out with the 1/4" drill bit. It's kind of a waste of time, a lot more effort, not really a waste of materials because I can definitely still use this for stuff, but if I would have just taken the initiative to do the 1/4" drill bit on this thing first and also have to drill these holes out a little bit wider, then I wouldn't be doing this right now. So just learn from my mistakes, don't be lazy. So here's all the brackets. Now I gotta clean all these burrs off with a file. Alright, so here's what I gotta make 3 more of. As you can see, I bent the bottom of the bracket downwards so that it'll lay flat on the baseball bat, and then I kept this straight right here, and I used these 1/4" steel rivets to pop into this little line right here to hold the whole thing together. And so here's how I bend the brackets. First, I bolt the bracket on temporarily with just a nut and bolt. Then I just clamp it up and use some vice grips to bend the pieces downwards. And once I got the pieces so they fit pretty good around the bat, then I take the bolt out and pop a rivet in its place. Alright, I made these 2. I'm just gonna attach them really quick. What I'm gonna use is this 9/64 drill bit and then these number 10 construction screws. They're 3/4 inches long. I'm gonna use this to drill a pilot hole into the 2 holes here, and then I'm gonna put the screws in. And just to make sure I don't drill deeper than I need to, I'm gonna mark the drill bit at 3/4 inches. Now I'm going to do the opposite one so that I can align the blade properly. Now just go ahead and do the rest. Alright, now I didn't anticipate how far out these brackets would reach, because if you remember initially I planned on just using 1" angle iron, but I had to switch over to the 1¼ inch. So as it is right now, the brackets wouldn't really fit on there, they'd be overlapping with these ones. So I'm just gonna have to stack these machetes back up and drill through them more towards the middle so that the brackets will be able to go in between these ones. Alright, so here's our first look at it with all the machetes on it. Part of me is so satisfied with the way this looks that I sort of just want to leave it as it is and just end the build right here, but as we learned a little while ago, we can't be lazy. So the second to last step for the build here is I have to make some reinforcement brackets up at the top here, otherwise points like this have a lot of leverage on it if it hits sideways like this. So the top of the blade right here could get pulled this way, which would essentially shear or cut these rivets right here, and the whole blade would just snap right off. Originally Originally, I had said I was gonna make these brackets out of that flat bar, but I figured out a way to do it with the angle iron, so if you wanna make one of these things at home, you won't have to buy as many materials. So because I can't have all of these blades have 2 brackets like I had down here, instead each of these blades is gonna have 1 bracket, but I've made it wider and I've drilled 2 holes for 2 screws to go into the bat to make up for the fact that there's only 1 bracket on each blade. So now I just gotta cut these out and attach them. So yeah, it's really just the same as all these other ones, except instead of having them on both sides, you only have a bracket on one side of each blade. Then just the same, drill these out and put screws in. Alright, now this is fully functional as it is, and I am super tired, but I'm feeling a special calling to be excellent. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take the rivet rods that I just popped out of all the rivets, I'm going to put them back into the rivets, weld them in there, and then trim them down. Because these are steel, and when you look at the amount of material in this little rod and the amount in the rivet, I really do think that this is gonna at least double the shear strength of these rivets. Now this is definitely gonna add about another hour to this build, so I better get to work. Alright, now I'm gonna clean this all up in a minute, but what I'm doing basically is I take the rod, I clamp it in the ground clamp, and then I put it into the rivet so that it pops out right there. But I get it just about flat with the surface of the rivet. Now let me turn down the ISO really quick. Then I zap it. So now the rod is permanently fixed in place. Now I can trim them down and weld the other side. Give it a quick cleanup paint job, and now final touch, a friction tape handle. And there you go, one of the coolest baseball bat mods of all time. One of the top 10 baseball bat mods, gotta be. Now don't you guys worry, I want to see this thing tested just as bad as you guys do, if not more. I just spent like a million years making it, so I'm cracking down on this collaboration with this other YouTuber who shall remain nameless in case it doesn't work out, so I won't get embarrassed. But even if it doesn't work out, I'll still test it on my own. Either way, this thing is not going away without you guys seeing it destroy something. But pray for it, guys, I'm serious. Before we go to bed tonight, pray for it, because if this collaboration works out, this could be freaking cool. So anyways, about the hoodies, whoa. So anyways, about the hoodies and the t-shirts, it's gonna be another 2-week-long sale, just like the last one. So at the end of the 2 weeks, the sale's gonna be over and all the shirts and hoodies are gonna get shipped out. Not gonna lie, guys, I'm doing this because for whatever reason, blame it on YouTube Red, blame it on the name change, blame it on the goose. My earnings are just not that great this month, my YouTube earnings. So to combat this travesty, selling hoodies and stuff. So if you want to support one of your favorite YouTubers, go ahead and go to teespring.com/alpha-2. I've got budget and premium versions of all the shirts and all the hoodies. So even if you're not swimming in the dough, you can still rep ZNA Productions. But if you are swimming in the dough, you know. But if you just really can't afford to buy anything right now, I do understand. You could still really help me out by sharing the video or by liking the video or leaving a comment or something like that. All that stuff really does help. Just clearly buying a hoodie helps a little bit more. But I won't look a gift like in the mouth. Just go ahead and do whatever you guys can. I appreciate all of it. So yeah, look forward to this bad boy or girl, I don't want to offend anybody, getting tested out by a very special somebody. That's all I got for today. So thank you guys very much for watching. I'll talk to you later. Bye.